that. Welcome into Applebee's for another edition of Monday Night Quarterback. Matt Moro along with Kristian O'Hara, and we are pleased to be joined, as we always are, by Fordham football head coach Joe Moorhead after the team's 59-42 victory over Lehigh on Saturday to move to 3-0 in the Patriot League. Coach, thanks for joining us once again.
Great to be back.
Now, gotta just start with Chase. Unbelievable record-setting day, 347 yards, the school record on the ground. I feel like we ask you this question all the time, but are we still getting surprised by what he can do? Do we see this kind of performance coming?
It's tough to say what he's going to do on a given week, but certainly he's found a way to outdo himself, and he did it again this week. Certainly an historic day and a great performance, and O-line and tight ends and receivers did a great job blocking, and it's certainly what we've come to expect from Chase.
Now, Coach, do you put a cap on the number of carries that he'll get per game, or is it kind of dictated throughout the flow of the game? I mean, because you do kind of want to, limit his carries now, making a playoff push here.
Yeah, Coach Fogarty does a good job with that. And, we talk about it on, Thursdays, kind of what his pitch count is, I guess, so to speak.
Right.
And obviously with a, certainly, capable backup with Kendall Pearson, who does a fantastic job, too. A lot of it is really based on flow of the game and, what we need. And to be honest, Chase doesn't want to be taken out of the game under any circumstance. So, if he needs a blow, Ken will go in and do a great job. But, certainly where that game was and how Chase was running the ball and how the line was blocking, it was, another game where he got up around the 30-carry mark.
Well, it seemed for a moment there might be where he could come out for the rest of the game. Looked like he injured his shoulder or something in the upper body at some point. Do you get worried when he comes off the field like that he's not able to come back in the game, or what's going to happen?
No, I mean, certainly when a player his caliber goes down and, the trainer and the team doctor are out there looking at him, and, those aren't our decisions as a coaching staff. Whether he returns the game or not is dictated by our medical staff, who does a tremendous job. So, Kendall was ready, and Jared Brevard's his backup, and, we were getting those guys, oiled up and ready to go, and, then we were informed Chase would be able to go back in.
What do you like? What do you see out of Kendall Pearson? Obviously sitting behind somebody of that caliber, but you always preach next man up and prepare like a starter. How has Kendall handled his role on this team?
To be honest, Kendall's one of the best leaders on this team, and when he gets in, I think for 2 years now, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I feel like he averages over 6 yards a carry on his attempts. Did a great job last year. When Chase was banged up in 2 games, played almost the whole Georgetown game and a lot of the preceding game, and I truly believe that Kendall would start for a majority of the programs at this level. He's a fantastic back. He just happens to be sitting behind, in my opinion, the best player at the FCS level at any position. But and his leadership, his vocal leadership, how he leads by example, and his contributions on special teams makes Kendall a very, very valuable member of the team.
Well, he is sitting behind this week's Patriot League Offensive Player in the Week, and Chase with over 400 all-purpose yards with 55 receiving yards in this game as well, 50 of them coming on a touchdown pass on a screen from Kevin Anderson. Let's listen to that play real quick. Play clock to 10. Anderson in the gun. Edmonds on his hip. 4 wide. One of them owed him the tight end to the right. It's out to the right flat. For a screen for Edmonds, has a block, has the first down, up the right numbers, makes a man miss, up the right sideline, down the right sideline to the 10, to the 5, jukes a man out, gets into the end zone on the near right pylon, touchdown Fordham. Chase Edmonds does it again, this time on the screen pass, and Fordham is in the end zone. Now, it's not the first time we've seen Chase take a ball through the air from Kevin and still make something happen. At what point of this game did you feel that he was ready to do something special? Because he was making plays like that, and he was making those same kind of plays if he was running between the tackles or running outside. When did you guys feel on the sideline that this was going to be another one of Chase's special days?
Yeah, I'd say probably, you start entering the third quarter, and, it looks like he's getting stronger with each carry, and, the 4s and 5s are turning into 9s and 10s, and the 9s and 10s are turning into 20s, and then he's, breaking through on some of the other ones. And, it's just one of those days when, when you carry the ball 30 times and average over 11 yards a carry, some special things are happening. And like I said, certainly that's, a huge credit to Chase, and the guys up front did a great job blocking for him.
And when Chase has a game like that, I'm sure it helps out Kevin. Kevin only had 10 completions on the day, but he had 4 touchdown passes. So does that help your ability as a play caller when you're running the ball like that to maybe dial up a pass in a certain situation?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the thing that gets lost, you know, with Chase's success is Kevin's second in the country in passing efficiency. I mean, he's having a fantastic year, and, you know, I won't say overshadowed, but, you know, for a good reason. But, you know, the thing about it was, you know, Lehigh, I think the great thing about our offense is our versatility, that if you try to stop one facet of it, it's going to leave a vulnerability in another aspect. And, you know, what people may or may not see is they were devoting, you know, 8 people in coverage. They were playing 4 over 3 to the field, and they were playing man-to-man with a quarters player to the boundary and allowing us to block 6 defenders with 6 blockers. So, you know, a lot of the things in the pass game, you know, were taken away by the coverage looks that they had, but it was opening it up, you know, for our run game. Right. So, you know, the shots that we took were the ones to phase on when he was matched up in man coverage. You know, some things, you know, down in the red zone area, and then some quick game screens. You know, because you're not going to run pass concepts or plays into bad looks that you don't have a chance to succeed in. So, you know, based on what they were doing, I think it benefited us to run the ball and, you know, take the appropriate shots versus the coverages we saw.
You mentioned Faison Odom. We're going to have tight ends coach Ian Pace on a little bit to talk about him and some of the other facets of the offense. But Faison creates such a matchup issue. How have you liked his progression this year in his first year as a starter, getting big minutes for this offense?
No, it's been fantastic. I mean, he's, you know, kind of like, you know, some of the other guys on both sides of the ball who've who have, you know, kind of waited their turn, you know, to get on the field, sitting behind multi-year, you know, all-league players. And, you know, certainly Faison offers a different, you know, skill set than Danny. But the thing that I like about Faison is he's always been a capable receiver. He's a guy that can get open and, like you said, you know, causes matchup problems. But he's really improved on the physicality aspect of it. You look at some of the blocks that he's made, and, you know, he's a high school basketball player who transitioned into tight end, and now he's, you know, throwing his body around, open, obviously doing a great job blocking, and, you know, adding to that, you know, what he's able to do in the pass game. I think he's, you know, progressively gotten better as a first-year starter.
I just want to go back to Chase real quick.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see this out of him when you recruited him out of high school? I mean, obviously you can't predict these numbers, but did you think he had this potential? Obviously you thought he could be a good player at the FCS level, but this?
I don't to say to this extent, I think would be, you know, revisionist history. But, I mean, in a lot of ways you look at him and, you know, he checked off all the boxes of what we want in this position. And, you know, we were the first one to offer him a scholarship at the running back position. And, you know, it was funny. He was playing in the Big 33 All-Star game, which is Pennsylvania versus, and I was sitting at home with a guy who played for the Patriots for 9 years, Cedric Jones, who played at Duke, was an All-American there, and we're watching a game, and, you know, it's filled with a bunch of, you know, FBS players, and he's like, your tailback might be the best guy on the field if he's not, and that made me feel good when a, you know, Super Bowl winner and 9-time NFL guy, but when Chase got here and how hard he works, and, you know, all those things, when you add his, you know, intangible skill set to his athletic and football ability, you know, what you see is a result of that.
With all that Chase did, you still needed the rest of the team to step up and make this a complete effort for the win. And a couple of things that you had mentioned before the game that you needed your team to be able to do to win was win the turnover battle and create big plays. I think it's safe to say that you guys did pretty well. How was your assessment of the goals coming in after Saturday's game?
Yeah, we reviewed it on Sunday, and, you know, we won the explosive play battle 12-11, and we won the turnover battle 4-1, or 5-1. So, you know, certainly defensively, you know, you want to be kind of around the eight explosive plays is kind of the max. You know, we were a little bit over that, and obviously the 42 points is, you know, more than we want to give up. But the one positive, or one of the positives we can take out of it is, you know, 5 turnovers led to 24 points, and any time we're able to give our offense extra possessions and, you know, the opportunity to score on a short field, you know, certainly that's you know, a huge part in it, like you said, it turning into a team win.
You guys had a multitude of turnovers against Lehigh. What things or adjustments do you need to make moving forward to maybe decrease that point total? You know, obviously you guys have given up a few points here the last couple games.
I'd say it's 2 things: limiting the explosive plays in the pass game, and getting off the field on third down. Because 2 of those things, when you in conjunction with each other, you're extending drives and giving the, you know, offense another opportunity to make a big play, or the balls that are getting, you know, thrown over our head and up the seams and things like that, or in the run game. So I think if we can, you know, do a better job putting a cap on explosive plays and then have the opportunity to get off the field on third down, that'll certainly lower the, you know, the points we're giving up.
We're going to bring you back in to take a look ahead at the Colgate game. But before we move on, just want to mention one more player who got some accolades this week. McKay Red, once again, is the Patriot League Special Teams Player of the Week. And he's been banged up for a few weeks now, but he continues to go out and give you consistency out of the kicker spot. And he's following a guy, Mike Miranda, who sets the school a point record. A guy, Patrick Murray, who's had an NFL job. So some huge, huge shoes to fill for McKay Red coming in. How have you felt about the way he has stepped up and not really crumbled under that pressure? He's come out and give another great season for you guys at kicker.
Yeah, I mean it's a great example of the next man in philosophy, and to his credit, it was a four-man place kicker battle royale. And he was the one left standing, and he hasn't shirked away from the responsibility. And the one thing, he hasn't gotten as many opportunities because we've been better with our red zone touchdown percentage. But when he's had the opportunity to kick field goals, I believe 8 of 11 or 9 of 12, somewhere in that range, and has hit a couple clutch ones, obviously the Penn game, and hitting the majority of his extra points, and hopefully when he gets healthy enough, get back to resuming his kickoff duties. But to have you see a lot of people who don't have good kickers, and to be able to have somebody that you feel confident can step in there and put one through when you need it and get points on the board, that's it's a huge security blanket.
Matt Moro with Kristian O'Hara here at Applebee's on Monday Night Quarterback, speaking with Fordham football head coach Joe Moorhead. We'll bring Coach back a little bit later to take a look ahead with Fordham's matchup with Colgate next weekend. Now let's move on to our X's and O's segment, where we talk to one of the coaches on the Fordham staff, and Matt Moro alongside Kristian O'Hara. Now pleased to be joined by tight end coach Ian Pace. Coach, thanks for joining us this week.
Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be on.
So one of the players that you directly coached this week, Faison Odom, the starting tight end for the team, had another big week. And he's a guy who, as we've spoken about him each time, we talk about how he's had to wait his turn. And as a senior, he's had to wait 3 years behind one of the best tight ends who's been here, and now he's in the NFL, in Dan Light. Did you expect when watching him for those 3 years that he was going to be able to sit for that long and take in as much and then be able to be productive in his senior year?
Yeah, I did, actually, just because Faison last year made a really, really strong push at Danny. Obviously, Danny was going to play, and was going to play each and every rep until he couldn't anymore. That's just the mentality he had and the skill set, and he was our best option at the time. But Faison made, especially through training camp and early last fall, he displayed skills that, as Coach Moorhead had mentioned, are different than Danny's. And it was really, really tough for him. And that points me to not be able to get him more reps, because he does bring a different dimension to our offense and, provides a threat to other opposing defenses. So, his patience, his ability to learn and to listen at all points have started to really show the dividends that they were deserving of. So.
Now, Coach, you fast forward to this summer, Faison obviously coming in as the starter. What have you seen, through his progression from start of camp to now that, you really enjoy as a coach?
His willingness and ability to embrace the process of preparation. Early in the year, I don't know how much value, or not value, but how much emphasis he truly believed hard reps and practice paid off. The past 5 weeks, he's really strung together each week solid practices. And when you do that, one, as his coach, you feel much more comfortable with what the product that's going to show up each Saturday. But two, it's taught him the ability to be a consistent performer, which is all we're asking for out of him, is be the same guy every day. That's all we need. If you're not the world's greatest blocker at points, just be consistent with who you are and your approach to it. And the past couple weeks, he's really bought into it. He's done a great job throughout the week, which makes you feel good going into Saturday, and then Saturdays he's done a really nice job for us. So I think his ability to mature and his understanding of what it takes to be successful each and every Saturday has been the biggest improvement and thing that I've been most proud of him for.
So early on in this game, it goes a little bit back and forth, and Lehigh even has the lead at the half, but you guys are able to take your first lead on that play. What is Faison able to do mismatch-wise that allows him to be such a great outlet for Kevin? When things are going back and forth, he knows he's going to have Faison somewhere over the middle.
As you can see from his physical appearance, there's not too many people at our level of football that are 6'8", 240-plus pounds and can run at the speed he can. So, he is a mismatch. Every week he's a mismatch because I haven't seen a 6'8" safety or corner. having him is a huge positive luxury. And what each week, you see opportunities to get him the football, and some weeks he does a great job and capitalizes on his opportunities. That touchdown was awesome because earlier in the year, similar type of play, similar location on the field, he didn't bring the ball in, and that was another step in his growth. Was he finished a play? He finished a play when we really needed it. So, and to answer your question, his physical skills and traits that he was blessed with have, they're an obvious mismatch, and we've been doing a really great job of using it to our advantage.
I'm sure that makes your job easier as a coach, when you have a guy that athletic and that tall who can go up there and grab those balls, because, like you said, the mismatch that it creates is unguardable.
Yeah, that ball looked really high.
Yeah, it was,
like
yeah.
he got up there for it, but
Right.
Kevin put it in the one place he knew that Faison could come down with it. Nobody else could, and Kevin puts the ball where it needs to be, and thankfully enough, Faison looked it all the way in, and and brought in another touchdown for us. So excited.
So in your playing days, you played offensive line, correct? And you coached offensive line earlier in your coaching career?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you know the importance of the offensive line when it comes to rushing numbers. And Chase Edmonds has been able to put up some outstanding rushing numbers. We'll get to talk to him in a little bit. But every time we talk to Chase about his success, he throws that deflection to the offensive line. How important is not only just the actual play on the field, the blocking for the running back, but the relationship between a running back and his offensive line in front of him?
Well, that's one of the things that makes Chase very special. And he understands why he's having success. Yes, he is gifted, and like Coach Moorhead has referenced, he's the best player at the FCS level. But he understands who's working for him. All right, and those 5 guys up front, and you had the tight ends. He's very complimentary to those guys, which obviously doesn't hurt when they have to strain that extra second or find that extra inch to make sure that Chase has the opening. And we've done a great job up front with our line coach. Bowen has those guys ticking each Saturday, and we've improved our physicality at the tight end position greatly. So that's allowed Chase to find the hole, and once he finds the hole, good luck. All right. So,
do you challenge Faison to be an even better blocker, each and every week?
There's not a challenge from me so much. Each Sunday I put together a cut up, and here are your good blocks, here are your bad blocks, and we've gotten to the point where if there's a bad block, I show it to him, and I go, is that what you want people to see on tape when they think of you and when they watch you? Is that what you want? And he's really taken ownership this year, and he's just like, that's not the best me. And that's where I know we've hit a good point, is when he can look at it and just be completely upfront with himself and say, I can do better, I need to do better. I do challenge him in the sense that I think, hey, I know you're capable of more. And I challenge him that, it'd be great each Sunday to come in here and see you knocking some people down. And the last couple Sundays I've been able to say that. And, that's an area of the game he knew he was lacking complete confidence in and the ability to do a great job with. So that's been a big emphasis since the day I took over with him. And we're starting to make some headway there. And it's been positive, and it's good reinforcement for him. You block well, we feed you the ball, so that it goes hand in hand. So
right.
It's a good thing.
One of the things we've heard about Coach Moorhead that makes him such a great leader for this team specifically is that having played at Fordham, he understands what playing college football here means. He understands the commitment you need academically and socially here at Fordham. And so you yourself, having been at Fordham playing football, do you feel that helps you in your relationship, not just with Faison, but anybody you coach, that you've been through what they've been through already? So if they're struggling at something or anything like that, you've been through that situation, so you know what it's like for them.
Yeah, Fordham presents you with some unique situations in a variety of ways, and having gone through it myself, I think that allows me to understand and have a greater idea of what's going on with our guys academically. Like you mentioned, you got to work here. You got to work really hard, and Faison is one of those guys. He works really hard to make sure he's taking care of his academic business. So, having played here and gone through Rose Hill, I do think that allows me to have a greater understanding, like you asked, about what our guys go through. And just, I think the biggest thing is I've been able to try to stress upon to them the appreciation of what's happening right now at Rose Hill in terms of our football program. When I was here, we won a Patriot League title my junior year, but you could count wins on one hand for a long time. So to just the success that's occurring right now, just to truly appreciate it, because winning college football games isn't easy. And these guys, this class, this staff is, for the most part, starting to get a little spoiled, and it looks kind of easier than what it is at points. So, to just, hey, guys, this is where it was, all right? This is how we've gotten it to where it is right now, and just redoubling our efforts to make sure it stays that way. So I do think there's a greater appreciation and understanding with what our guys go through, and I've been able to pass on to them where we were at.
How do you compare the feeling of winning as a player here and winning as a coach?
Winning as a coach was more special to me, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, each Saturday, you hand the keys to the car over to a player, and what they do is a direct reflection of who you are and certain things you've tried to instill in them. Last year was special, getting to watch Danny go out there and catch a touchdown in the game against Bucknell, and that was really special. And so to answer your question as a coach, because a player is awesome, and you love playing, but eventually it stops, and you don't get to play anymore. So this is the closest you'll ever get to play again, and to watch young men do things that you've taught them or talked about with them, to me, to answer your question, coaching was way more special.
Do you know you always wanted to be a coach after you played?
No, actually. I thought I was going to be a lawyer. I did an internship here spring of my senior year. I put on a suit a tie every morning, and decided after that internship that this wasn't for me. I reached out to anybody and everybody I knew in coaching, and I was very fortunate. Got an opportunity at Bowling Green State University in Ohio, and from there I've just been very fortunate. It's been Fordham people have helped me out. There's a Fordham guy at BG, and it's a Fordham guy here, obviously, with Coach Moorhead. So, yeah, I was really lucky and fortunate to find my calling at the right time.
Coach Moorhead has certainly been happy to have you. We've been happy to have you on the show here. Tight ends coach Ian Pace here on Monday Night Quarterback with us. Coach, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you again very much.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Now it's time to go inside the huddle. Matt Moro alongside Kristian O'Hara here on Monday Night Quarterback and Applebee's, and we are pleased to be joined by two of the key players from Fordham's win over Lehigh on Saturday, running back Chase Edmonds and defensive lineman Marlon Crook. Guys, congratulations on the win, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Chase, we have to start with you. 347 yards, a school record, a Patriot League record. First of all, just congratulations on the day, on the numbers. When did you know that you were going to have that kind of day? Because you've been putting up ridiculous numbers the last couple of weeks. You didn't get to 200 yards against Holy Cross, and that was almost like, oh, my God, Chase didn't get 200 yards. And then you put up these kinds of numbers. When did you know you were going to have that kind of day?
Honestly, I didn't. We kind of started out slow as an offensive unit. I'm pretty sure the first series we had a 3-and-out, and it just was hard to get the clicking going right. And before you know it, the runs just start to add up, and the momentum starts to swing. And the next thing you know, you just hear that kind of stat. You don't really think about it during the game. It's just something that hits you at the end.
Chase, at what point during a run do you know, all right, I'm gone? During a read on a play, you kind of take the ball and go through the hole. Do you know at a certain point, like, I'm taking this to the house?
I mean, that's funny because, last year, I had a lot of more breakout speed. But this year my first run against Columbia and Army, I actually got hawked.
Yeah.
A lot of that was my first time. That was the first time in my life it ever happened to me. A lot of the guys were joking at me.
Did you guys get on him?
Yeah. They got on me. Yeah, they got on me a little bit, and that's something I always kept in the back of my mind. But usually with a zone split run, it's just once I split the safeties, I know as long as I keep it moving, it should be six. So.
Well, there was a play that it seemed from up top that you knew as soon as you touched the ball, you had already tied the school record before this run, and then to break it, not only did you get the 1 yard you needed, you got all 75 until the end zone. Let's listen to that run that broke the school record.
Just needs 1 yard for the school record in a game. He's getting more than that. Breaks through. He might go all the way. The 40, 30, 20, 10. Are you kidding me? 75 yards, Chase Edmonds. Barely touched. And Fordham puts this game away.
Wow.
What a way to break the school record for rushing yards on a game. Unbelievable. It's 58-42 Fordham with 2:17 to go in the fourth.
The score put the game away. It gave you the school record. Obviously, we were pretty pumped up there. Kristian was almost lost for words. You had that run, and then you had a 60-yard run where I think you went untouched as well. When you get that one in the backfield, do you know right away that when you see that hole, all right, I might not be touched on this one?
Well, yeah, it goes to credit to the lineman and it fades on for just doing outstanding blocking, and that's just what a running back's supposed to do. If the line can get you untouched to the second level, the rest is on you just to, make stuff happen with your God-gifted ability. So I just try to do that to the best of my ability.
Now, Marlon, this one's for you. You guys kind of started out slow. Shafniski was kind of having success with the read option there. As a defensive line, is it frustrating to kind of not get off the field on third down? And, second part of that question is, what do you guys need to do better defensively to stop these read option quarterbacks?
Yeah, not just as a defensive line. The whole defense is frustrating. It's a little bit on everybody when plays get out. When we're not following our assignment like we know we can. We have to do better. We do have to do better. We game plan for all the different game records, people who could be game records, and we just have to play a better assignment football because we have the talent on our defense to be a great defense.
Now, Shevniski doesn't end up playing in the second half, and not that it was just because of that, but you guys started to turn things around a little bit in the second half. You also caused a lot of turnovers as a defense early on with some picks of both the quarterbacks that played, Shevniski and Brad Mays, in this game against Lehigh. Do you guys pride yourself on being able to turn the ball over? I know Coach mentioned before the game that, winning the turnover battle is one of those things that we have to worry about to win a game. How much is that stress to you guys going in that we've got to win that turnover battle and force those turnovers?
Oh, it's very important. It's very important. And our coach, Coach Hooley, he stresses that before the game. He always puts a set number of turnovers that he wants us to have. So I think this past game it was 4 turnovers. We went out, we wanted to get 4 turnovers. And that we really pride ourselves in the energy of that. We're getting the pick six like Jihad had. That really builds up the energy and the momentum, and our defense really works off of that.
Because I could see during the Holy Cross game, you guys are sluggish early, but you were coming off the field like, guys, look, we're there. We just got to make the plays. And Coach Hooley was pretty much echoing that same sentiment that, look, we're just going to need to get a turnover. We're going to need to make a play. And how important is it when you guys get that turnover to give the ball back to guys like Chase?
It's very important because we all have we all know what Chase can do, basically. So we know we get the ball back to them, they're going to make something happen. So that's all I was trying to relay to my teammates when I came off the field. Like we have, like I said, but we have the talent to make those type of plays, to get off the field and help the team. So we just have to have that energy in us to go do that.
For both of you guys, how much motivation does it give you for you, Chase, when the defense makes a big play, when they recover a fumble or get a stop or pick off the ball, for you guys to come out and really make them pay on the other side, 24 points off turnovers for the offense, and then meanwhile when a guy like Chase or when Kevin throws a touchdown, how much does it motivate the defense to go out and get that stop to defend the score that they just got?
Oh yeah, it's definitely it really brings momentum to the game. And just more team chemistry. One thing that I have a saying is with George Dawson and Nico, just match what we do, and we'll be all right. And it's just like it's kind of like holding each side to the standard that we got each other's back. We're gonna get the job done. And even when one side isn't performing well, like when we were having those 3 and outs, and the defense was helping us out with stops, it's just you have each other's back, and that's the one thing that we do. We hold each other accountable.
Yeah, and even after, if one side of the ball has a bad game, we're always like, hey, forget about it. We're a team. We're going to win as a team. We got each other's back. So that's a big part of our team. We have a really, really great team chemistry. And I think at the point of the season we're at right now, that's really going to help us.
Guys, looking ahead to Columbia, which, Colgate, like I said, which individual matchups are you guys kind of concerned? Obviously, Chase, you're facing a decent defense, and then Marlon, you're facing another kind of dual-threat guy.
It's just, I like to not worry about what other opponents are doing. I always feel like, teams have to adjust to us, and as long as you focus on what you have to do in your offensive or defensive game plan, you'll be all right. Now, for defense, it's probably different just because, they got to scheme up to the offense. But for offensively, it's just that a defense has to stop us. And we're not going to change what we're doing. It's been working, and we're going to keep doing it.
Right.
Yeah, I sort of have the same mindset, just the way I approach the game. And I know the rest of the players on the defense, they kind of share some of this a little bit. But we know, like I said, we know what we're capable of. We just have to get our technique defined and just play assignment football. We're going to game plan for specific teams and change things up a little bit. But for the most part, it's just getting back to what we know we can do, sharpening up our play, sharpening up our technique.
You mentioned that, both sides, not 2 separate sides of the ball, it's one team. So when you guys hear that he has broken the school record, it comes over the PA, what is the whole team reaction? What did you feel from your teammates, and what is the whole team reaction for Chase when he gets that done?
Just for me, I was really grateful, man. I really have wonderful teammates on this team, and I really do give them all the credit because I know it wouldn't be possible without my teammates. And when you have something like that, it's really a team accomplishment, especially up front. That's something that we really pride ourselves in, and being the best rushing attack in this country. And it's just we gotta keep working, and hopefully that will happen.
my initial thought was, like, didn't he already do that?
It's shocking, right? He didn't already have the record.
Right.
It just, like I said, we know what Chase is capable
Yeah.
of. He's a great player, and it's great to have him as a teammate. I know I can rely on him in tough situations. It's just the plays he makes, the momentum it brings to the team. It's amazing.
Chase, do you have like a pregame meal? What do you eat, bro? You eat peanut butter and jelly? What's up?
Nah, it's just I go out there, man. I just pray before every game, and I let it be in God's will, whatever happens.
Absolutely.
Coach Moorhead stresses to play up to the championship standard every week. How have you guys both felt the way your side of the ball have progressed in that as the season's gone on? So many new faces. Chase, you're one of the few guys coming back and starting. Marlon, you're one of the few guys who's come back and had significant playing time on the defense. With so many new guys starting this year, have you felt your sides of the ball have come up to that challenge of playing to the championship standard every week?
Offensively, I think we're doing a great job right now. I think we need to keep it going. I think the big thing for us was, it was a lot of question marks just coming in because Army was a 1A school, and we just didn't know how it was going to happen from an FCS school to an FBS school, and we just lost so many starters. I think we got off to a really good start, and, confidence just builds talent. It really adds on. If you play confident, you just play so much better when you have more faith in yourself. I think that one thing we need to do, though, is enhance our ability just to put the game away. We were up 17 points, and then me and Kevin had that miscommunication on the zone read. That's one thing that we put on us, and, we put pride in, either taking the glory or taking the blame. So that's one thing that we just need to work on is our killer instinct, just to put teams away and not really let it get back into that 10-point game where we have to score and, like I said, put our defense in a bad situation.
Yeah, like you said, we have a lot of guys who fill in starting spots. So the one thing I think I've seen is that we've really matured. There's some things, like I said, that we need to work on. But from where we started over the summer, everybody filling in the spots, to where we're at now, we've really progressed as a defense and as a unit. We're really starting to get things together. And I see where things are going. We're getting to a good place.
Who are some of the guys that you guys have seen specifically as now leaders on this team that have come in as underclassmen and stepped up and have matured in that process?
One thing that I've seen defensively actually is Dylan Maven. Dylan Maven is doing a great job stepping in, and like Coach Moorhead has, he has this philosophy of next man up, and it's basically the next man up he's gonna do just as good as or even a better job as the person he's replacing. And I like the way that Dylan's been playing defensively. He's been playing smart football. One thing that pointed out to me was last game where they kicked it's kind of like I think it's supposed to be a kick pass, and he fair catched the ball, so it didn't allow the kicking team to even get a chance to force a fumble, and that was just really smart on his part.
One person I would say is Nico Thorpe, coming in playing starting middle linebacker, and I really see where he's progressed. I've seen him come in as a freshman and now as a sophomore, really trying to be more of a vocal leader out on the field. George Dawson is a big vocal leader on our defense, but I can really see Nico trying to fill some of that and, out there making calls, being vocal, being loud, actually trying to be a leader on the team, and he's doing a great job at that.
Marlon, Chase got caught a couple times around the year. You could be able to catch him if he ran past you guys on defense?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Oklahoma Joe.
Oklahoma Joe.
We'll have to see.
Running back Chase Edmonds, defensive lineman Marlon Crook, along with Matt Moro and Kristian O'Hara on Monday Night Quarterback here at Applebee's. Guys, congratulations on the Lehigh win. Good luck against Colgate, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys. Now time to bring back in Coach Moorhead to take a look at Fordham's matchup with Colgate coming up on Saturday. So, Coach, you move in to this matchup 3-0 after the win over Lehigh. So your goals of winning in the Patriot League, you're on your way to that, but now you have to go on the road, one of the longer trips in the conference. Does that mean anything when you have to go on one of the longer trips like that, going up to Hamilton?
That's on Coach Marmros. So he does a great job organizing everything, and they're really only different thing from a itinerary perspective is our meetings are going to start a little earlier on Friday, get on the bus a little bit earlier, and be on the bus a little bit longer. But aside from that, for the time we arrive at the hotel and we have our meetings and have our night meal and our pregame the next morning, everything else will be status quo.
Coach, in terms of X's and O's, you had Puyos for Holy Cross, Chef Niski for Lehigh. What players on Colgate concern you the most on tape?
On the offensive side of the ball, Melville, the quarterback, is another in the string of dual threat guys that we're seeing here. Probably a little bit different than Chef Niski and Puyos in the sense that he doesn't throw it as much. I think he averages 197 yards a game passing, and it's not that he couldn't do it more, but what they ask him to do within the construct of their offense, he's a guy that can definitely beat you with his legs and with a lot of design runs, and has made a bunch of good throws. So he's certainly a guy that you got to handle in both aspects. And then they have kind of a 3-tiered or 2-tiered. Demetrius Russell and John Wilkins are the two primary guys who've gotten the majority of the carries, and then they have another younger sophomore, and then Alex Greenwald, the receiver, and John Quazza, the tight end. And obviously Colgate always has a big, strong, physical offensive line, well coached. Coach Hunt's heavily involved with the offense. So offensively, I think those are that's named just about everyone. But those are the major keys. Defensively, Stefan, their best D lineman, has been out since the New Hampshire game. They have can't pronounce the kid's last name, but number 37,